We keep our Area 51 alien right there. So here we are Sunday morning. Did not unload the truck, so I'm going to unload the truck now. The feed is set here. We have not had any rain, luckily. Oh yeah? This puppy is very interested in being wherever I am. So I don't pet her at the gate because then it just reassures that she jumps up on the gate like that. Very, very excited still. Very smart too. Learns very quickly. All right, I don't need to move these two, so I'm gonna bring the four-wheel over here and feed those two bags off. Everything's stacked up now. This damn truck doors are always locked. All right, that wasn't not ideal. Holy shit, that blew that all right back in my face. Holy shit. Four poles. Oh, good. There's a whole set here. I think I have some more of these. Dun, 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 dun. Do you think that every time you roll up a big roll-up door? Ooh, those are not supposed to be outside. Not this one. This is the one with the coffins. One. No poles in there. We have one. And there's spider webs in here. When you put these shelves together, be aware of where your bottom shelf is. How low do you want your bottom shelf? And almost more importantly, how high do you want it? Do you want to be able to put stuff under these shelves? What is it? Are you going to put them in containers? So build it for the height of the container. Or do you want to be able to vacuum under these? Or if something got under there, do you want to be able to get under there to get it? So consider that when you build these, especially the bottom shelf. Don't put the wheels on yet. I put the wheels on at the end, or once half of the shelf is built, because you have the lower half and the top half. Build your lower half first. That way you don't have to raise all the shelves over 6 feet of pole. You only raise the first ones over 3 feet of pole. Rotate like so. And you can get these at Lowe's. You can get them at Sam's Club. Get them at Costco. They're all very similar. And the parts have always interchanged with all of them. You save money getting them at Sam's or Costco, because when you get them at Lowe's, they don't include the casters. There's the first shelf. I typically stand on them in the corners, get it set in there nice and tight, and then I determine where I want to put my other shelves based on what I'm going to put on the shelves. Now is the time to add the second pole. This way you didn't have to fight these poles over the top of these. Most of these will thread in halfway and stop. Every now and then you'll find one that doesn't, so just kind of get it towards about the middle. If you don't want to or can't count your marks, you can always put a piece of tape right there to mark so they're all the same levels. None of these are going in right. It's turning the whole darn hole. How bizarre. These must be out of two different sets somehow. You can see right here, you can build these as half carts. And if you do build them as half carts, I like to leave a little pole out of the top here to hang cords and ropes and even you know, clothing on. Once you have the half shelf built, that's the time to put the wheels on. You can do it once the whole thing's built, but it's just more weight to have to move these thread in. And this one is not one of there, it goes. Now these sets over the years have come with small casters, large casters, so just be aware of that when you're putting sets side by side. They might be an inch taller, sometimes even 2 inches taller than the ones with the small casters. All the parts do seem to be interchangeable, and if it's a big deal, you can probably buy some casters at Tractor Supply or Harbor Freight that'll match your other ones or be closer. Be aware too, these shelves will hold a ton of weight, and when you put them on like plywood floors and such inside of tiny buildings, depending on the weight that you put on the shelf, it can dimple those or even eventually over time punch through them. There you go. Padow. Be cognizant what you're putting on these. If you're putting, for instance, canning jars on these, and they do work well for that, you'll want to buy 2 sets just to have the extra shelves. You could put your canning jars and then put a sheet of wood with another set of canning jars on there, thus making kind of an extra shelf. Or you could just get extra shelves. You can buy these. It's probably cheaper to buy 2 sets to get the extra shelves and just not use the vertical poles. When you start setting up your kitchen, your pantry, your workshops, you will find that you will use these for the rest of your life. I have hundreds of sets of these things that we use all over the place. We use them inside, we use them outside. Yes, they rust, they still fully function rusted, and you will find all kinds of uses for these things. So heavy stuff, ideally down low, lighter stuff up top. I say that though, and use it with heavy stuff on the entire shelf. When you put these shelves together and you space them with the 5 shelves they come with, you will find that you put stuff here and you have a bunch of dead room. So having extra shelves in here and planning out what you're going to put there from the beginning is really nice. You can take these apart. You pretty much have to unload the whole thing to take it apart properly to correctly space. So if you're putting jars and food stored goods, put your whole layer on there, build your next shelf, figure it out. They're a Lego. You can take them apart, just not as easily as you do Legos. Be careful in there. You'll get your hand meat pinched in there, and if you push on it or it falls fast enough, it'll cut it off. If you have problems getting it on like that, it's just because you don't have the shelf level enough. Get a second set of hands if you need to. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I definitely want a 6 on here. This set wouldn't come with a 6 shelf, but I happen to have a stack of shelves, so let's go get that. So over the years, we've used these shelves to store big folding lid bins and things on. So a lot of times we only use 4 shelves. And like I said, I have hundreds of these shelf units. That's a stack of shelves back there. Now, one of my guys stored them very neatly here on a whole set of shelves. Now, that was a neat idea when he did it, I'm sure, but it is a pain in the ass. Do not ever take all your verticals and fill them with shelves, because I have to move everything to get one of these off, and you have to do it evenly or you won't get it off. So those are a pain in the ass. The fix for that is to pull all of this stuff out of here, take those all apart, and store them on end up against the wall. You can see I have a bunch of extra poles just from different sets over time. We built a bunch into halves, and you can see shelves even all across here. Why are these dogs going off here? What's up out here? puppy. She alerts on everything, even stuff that doesn't need alerted on. But she's learning really quickly. This is the outside property, outside of the fence. So coyotes, sometimes stray dogs go through there, cats. She alerts, and then the big dog in the back alerts. And if something runs through here, cat, rabbit, possum, they go nuts. I don't come over and pet her right now because I don't want to reward this behavior right here. So I ignore her when she does that right now. But I'm already sidetracked. The shelves, I need one more, and I have some that are easier to get to right here. These are how I would store these, up on end like this. I've got a bunch of rogue shelves too here. Scaffolding, have a few sets of that. You'll use it. I recently saw Wrangler Star had some big pallet racking that he put on the backside of his building, and he put all his tractor implements, all his skid steer implements on there. I really like that idea. That way you have less footprint and it doesn't take as much room on the ground. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to put some pallet racking up and have 2 rows of implements. We could put them over there on the side of the shipping containers. I think that would work really nicely. That's Euro NATO gas cans, brand new. We have those up for sale, although shipping kind of eats into your savings. So if you're ever local here and you want to buy some, we have them. I'm always clamping this GoPro onto stuff. Clamp it on this plate here, this chair here. I'm going to clamp it right here on this broom handle. Also be cognizant if you're putting these shelves in sheds or tiny buildings, where this top shelf sits based on if you're putting jars or plastic boxes, you know, for head height on the roof. We have some side rooms upstairs and the walls come like this, the ceiling. So I actually cut on a chop saw, I cut a couple inches of this poles off so I could put them up against the wall, and that worked well. So this shelf is going out to one of the tiny houses. Right now, Amanda is making me a ham, cheese, and egg sandwich. So as soon as that's done, we're going to carry this across the gravel out to the other building. Here you can see one of these shelves being used. Most of them come with this plastic here, which is nice. Again, I leave these stubs up top so you can hang things on them. You can put a lot of bags there and have a ton of stuff in these bags. Here's a good example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shelves on that one. Stubs on the top. Here's one without the stubs on the top. We keep our Area 51 alien right there. And then Sterlite Rubbermaid containers are great to put on these things. And then as far as putting canning jars in them, you can keep the canning jars back in the boxes and stack your boxes even on shelves. And there are 2 proper egg, ham, and cheese sandwiches. The eggs definitely came from here. Where'd the bread come from?
Whole Foods.
It says gluten-free?
Yes.
Gluten-free? I don't think we have a gluten problem. I think we have a pesticide Roundup problem, probably, for most people. But ham and cheese did not come from here, but you know, you guys have the capability to do that if you want. Once we're out, we'll just grab it from the bottom. Imagine if you had to walk backwards everywhere you went. 8 o'clock Sunday night. Been moving, well, all day. Moon up there. This grill, Expedition 3X. I bought this Camp Chef. I bought this thing, man, 20 years ago probably, from Costco. Just as a prep item, never used it. Opened it up when Pierre decided he wanted to open a food truck, and we've been using it since. That griddle, that sucker will get up to like 700 degrees. I've had it on for about a minute here. About 300. It's kicking up. I just have one burner on right now. I've got a ribeye that I cut into strips here, and a yellow squash, salt and peppered. I'm gonna cook this off and just have a small kind of later dinner. I'll then do a live in about well, under an hour. Shun knives. We've used them so much, the markings have come off them. Love these things though.